Hello and welcome to the Shell Scripts for Beginners course. My name is Mumshad Manambat and I'm with Vijin Palari and we'll be your instructors for this course. Shell scripts in Linux are an easy-to-use, time-saving solution for automating repetitive or complex set of tasks in a system administrator's daily life. It can help save time and increase productivity, so it's a must-have skill for anyone working on computers. Shell scripts can be used to automate repetitive tasks such as perform daily backups of your system or installing and patching packages on multiple servers or monitoring the system periodically such as to check the memory, CPU, and disk usage and raise alarms if required. Or perform regular audits on a system such as to identify logged in users, monitor their activities, or to identify processes consuming most resources, or search through multiple log files and identify root cause of problems. This course is a beginner level course and is for those who are absolute beginners to shell scripting or programming. System administrators or IT engineers who do not have any prior programming experience can go through this course to gain basic knowledge of shell scripting. As part of this course, we will explain the necessary programming concepts required for shell scripting. And we will learn in a fun way using examples of a space station launching missions to explore the universe. We will also see a number of real-world use cases of scripts throughout this course. Our embedded hands-on labs will make sure you gain enough hands-on practice right after you learn each concept. We will test your scripts to make sure that you have written them correctly, and we will also provide feedback. This course is divided into different sections where we discuss what shell scripts are and how to get started with your first shell script. We discuss how to make your scripts executable. We discuss various concepts related to scripting such as variables, control logics such as conditional statements, loops such as for loops and while loops, and arithmetic operations, etc. And throughout the course, we will also discuss best practices while scripting, such as what to do and what not to do and how to develop a script that's reusable. We will also see some tips and tricks such as some IDEs and utilities that can help you improve your scripting skills. As a prerequisite, you must have basic Linux knowledge and command line experience. These are covered in the Linux Basics course on our platform. And I reiterate that there's no programming knowledge required for this course. Let us get introduced to our project for this course. You're going to launch rockets into space using shell scripts. No kidding. You're part of the team responsible for orchestrating rocket launches to space, and you decide to do it using shell scripts. You're tasked to develop a script that automates the launch sequence. Before writing any shell script, it's important to know the in and out of what you're trying to automate. You don't want to get the sequence or the operations wrong while launching a rocket, as it may result in a catastrophe. So here's how the sequence works. First, start the auxiliary power, then switch to internal power, followed by the auto sequence start, and then start the main engine, and finally lift off. Pretty simple. Now you don't need to know rocket science to execute these steps to launch a rocket. The rocket scientists have been very resourceful in creating commands that you can run to launch a rocket. So like your usual Linux commands such as ls or user add or mkdir, which or directory, etc., you now have commands specific to rockets. For example, to start the auxiliary power, run the rocket start power command. To switch to internal power, run the rocket internal power command. To start auto sequence, run the rocket start auto sequence command. To start the engine, run the rocket start engine command. And finally, to lift off, run the rocket lift off command. Now you will be launching multiple rockets into space. So to list all rockets, run the rocket list command. To create a new rocket, run the rocket add command. To destroy a rocket, run the rocket delete command. And to get the status of a launched rocket, run the rocket status command. And in case of failure, we can use the rocket debug command to see the reason of a failure. Before starting to develop your script, it is important to have a clear idea on what you are developing it for. You must write down the exact steps and associated commands required to complete your task. Let's quickly go over our requirements based on what we accomplished in the previous lab. We first created a directory for our mission. We named it Lunar Mission. Then we created a rocket for that mission, and using the rocket add command, we then followed the launch sequence by running the commands for launching the rocket. And finally, we tested the status using the rocket status command to make sure the launch was successful. For each mission, you'll have to follow the same steps of creating a directory and then running the sequence of commands to launch the rocket. You decide to automate it and make it simpler using shell scripts. To create a shell script to perform all of these tasks, we create a file named create and launch rocket, and we move all the commands to this file in the same order that we executed them in. It's important to name your shell scripts so that it makes sense. In this case, since I'm first creating and then launching a rocket, I will name it create and launch rocket. This will allow yourself and others using the script in the future to know exactly what the script does. We will also give it the extension .sh to indicate that it is a shell script. Now that's the simplest form of creating a shell script. We can now execute the script using the bash command. When a shell script is executed, it runs each line in the script one after the other until all lines are complete. If one of the command takes a long time to execute, it will wait until it's finished before proceeding to the next line. There are different ways to execute a shell script. We saw one way in the previous slide, which is using the bash command. You can also configure a shell script to run like any other command on your system as an executable, such as create and launch rocket.sh. This way, you can create your own executable commands on your system by simply developing shell scripts. Now, if you plan to do this, then it is a best practice to not name your script with the .sh extension, because you don't typically see commands in Linux with a .sh extension. This way, it looks more like a command. However, if you try to run it now, you'll see an error that says command not found. We have only created the script, but we haven't really configured it as a command. We haven't told the operating system that we intend to run this script as a command or where this script is located. Whenever a command is run on a Linux system, the operating system looks at the paths configured in the path environment variable to locate the executable or script for that command. If it can't find the command in any of these paths that are listed here, the command not found error is thrown. To add our script as a command, append the path to the directory containing the script to the end of the path variable like this. Now, a better way to do that is to specify the $path variable instead of the existing entire path. That way, you don't have to type in the entire contents of the existing path. And you can also prevent accidentally making a mistake while typing in that existing path. Now, once this is done, you will be able to run the script without having to provide the path like any of the other built-in or external commands that we saw earlier. To see the location of a command, run the which command followed by the name of the command you'd like to see the location of. In this case, running the which command and specifying the create and launch rocket command lists the location of our script, which happens to be in the user Michael's home directory. For a shell script to work, we must set the correct permissions to the file. After creating the shell script file, running the file for the first time will result in a permission denied error if the permissions are not set correctly. This is because the execute bit needs to be set for the file to be considered as an executable. If we inspect the file permissions using the ls-l command, you can see that the X bit is not set for this file at all. We can add that using the chmod command and make it executable. Here we will make use of the chmod +x command followed by the script name to make it executable. We learned about the execute bit and file permissions in the Linux Basics course. So if you're not sure about this, go back and have a quick look at it. Now, if we run the script, it works. So let's look at some best practices. When developing a script, always give it a name that makes sense. A good way to go about this is to imagine what another person would understand when looking at your script. So names like script1.sh or myscript.sh or test.sh are bad examples. Also, if you plan to make your script an executable to be run like a command, then you may leave out the .sh extension. However, it is a good practice to keep the extension if you don't plan to make your script executable like a command.